Today, we delve into the life of Chanakya, the ancient scholar, strategist, and statesman whose wisdom shaped the foundation of Indian polity. Known for his sharp intellect and unwavering vision, Chanakya's teachings on governance and diplomacy continue to guide leaders worldwide. Join us as we explore the legacy of a thinker whose mind forged empires. Welcome to Legends of Leadership. I'm your host, Sri Verma. Today we embark on a journey 2.5 millennia into the past, to the heart of ancient India. Picture the bustling city of Pataliputra at dawn, with temple bells ringing and scholars gathering. We have a very special guest joining us. Acharya Chanakya, also known as Kautilya or Vishnugupta, is here with us. He's the strategist and philosopher who guided Chandragupta to found the Mauryan Empire. Chanakya, it's an honor to have you.
Namaste, I am honored to be here.
Let's begin at the beginning. Where and when were you born, Acharya?
I was born in a Brahmin family in northern India around the mid-4th century BCE. Exact records are lost to time, but tradition says I grew up near the capital of Magadha. My father, Chanakya, was a learned man, and my mother taught me humility. Even as a boy, I was destined for learning. According to legend, I was born with canine teeth, an omen of kingship, which worried my mother. As I grew, she even broke them off so I would remain humble. But I never cared for appearances. My mind was set on wisdom.
Where did you study your knowledge?
I studied at Taxila, one of the greatest universities of the age. Taxila, now in Pakistan, was a renowned center of learning. There I mastered the Vedas, political science, economics, even medicine and astrology. I was curious about all subjects. They taught me martial arts and statecraft, and I even encountered Greek and Persian ideas coming into India. My teachers say I soaked up knowledge as a sponge does water.
So you had a broad education. Did you become a teacher yourself?
Yes. After my studies, I became a teacher of politics and economics. I lived simply and taught the young, always seeking the next right cause. Even then, I longed to serve the greater good of the kingdom.
Your life took a dramatic turn with a clash at the royal court. Tell us about King Dhanananda and that incident.
King Dhanananda was the ruler of Magadha, a man of immense wealth but also tyranny. I traveled to his court in Pataliputra to plead for support for my education. During an almsgiving ceremony, Dhanananda looked upon me with disdain. He mocked my humble garb and the gaps where my teeth once were. He had me dragged out of the assembly and humiliated me before his courtiers. At that moment, I vowed that I would see his empire crumble. I cursed him there, swore his fall, and fled into the forest to plan his overthrow. That act of arrogance by the king lit the fire of revenge in me. Host, that was bold. So you left it at that? No, I became a shadow in the forest, seeking resources and the right ally. Wealth and men were needed, but most of all, I needed a leader who could replace Dhanananda. The king's son Pabata was tested, but he lacked conviction. Instead, I found a young peasant boy named Chandragupta. Even at 10 years old, he showed great courage.
Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the empire. How did you come to guide him?
I found Chandragupta being raised by a simple herdsman. The boy had a keen spark. I put both him and Pabata through tests. Pabata failed. Chandragupta, however, acted swiftly and decisively when challenged. In one test, he was asked to retrieve an amulet without waking a sleeping boy. Chandragupta knew what had to be done and did it. That confirmed his potential.
So you decided to mentor Chandragupta?
Yes, I took him under my wing and became his teacher and strategist. For nearly a decade, I trained him in all arts of war and governance. He learned not only military tactics, but also diplomacy, administration, and even economics. He was a quick study. Together, we prepared to challenge the Nanda dynasty.
7 to 9 years of training? That's commitment. Then what happened?
By 321 BCE, Chandragupta was ready. We gathered a loyal army and marched on Pataliputra. We surprised King Dhanananda's forces and defeated them. In a final assault, we captured the capital, and Dhanananda fell. Chandragupta assumed the throne of Magadha and became the first Mauryan emperor. I anointed him at the ancient ceremony of coronation. With Chandragupta as emperor, I took the role of his chief minister and advisor. Between Chandragupta and me, we rebuilt the administration. Magadha became the heart of what would grow into the Mauryan Empire, stretching from the Indus to Bengal. It was a grand achievement, the likes of which India had not seen.
An extraordinary partnership, the greatest empire of the age, all starting with a humble teacher and student. Now let's talk about your famous treatise, the Arthashastra. Why did you write it?
After founding the empire, I realized that Chandragupta needed a comprehensive guide to rule effectively. So I wrote the Arthashastra, literally the science of Artha, material prosperity. It compiles everything a ruler must know: economics, law, military strategy, and more. Its 15 books cover every phase of government, from treasury management to justice. In my words, running a state is a science of punishment, ensuring order through proper laws and enforcement.
You even discuss assassination and espionage in that book?
Yes, the Arthashastra openly advocates the use of spies at all levels, from royal courts down to village informants. Knowledge is power. A king must know the thoughts of his people and the schemes of his enemies. It even says that in service to the state, a ruler may discreetly remove threats, including by secret means. These ideas may seem harsh, but they were considered necessary for the security of the realm.
Many say this sounds Machiavellian.
I'm often called the Machiavelli of India. But note, Arthashastra predates Machiavelli by nearly 2 millennia. My emphasis is simple. A leader must do what must be done. The welfare of the state is paramount. If that requires stern measures, then so be it. History shows that a kingdom needs both justice and pragmatism to survive.
Can you give an example of your strategic thinking?
Certainly. I taught Chandragupta never to befriend his foes, for friendship with a powerful enemy can be dangerous. Instead, a king should divide alliances of his adversaries. I also insisted that no one, not even ministers or nobles, be above suspicion. Daily reports must come to the throne from spies. In one famous anecdote, I fed small doses of poison to Chandragupta, so he'd be immune to assassination. It was an extreme tactic, but it shows the lengths one must go to protect the ruler. Government is a fine art of knowing trust from treachery.
It sounds ruthless to some.
Perhaps. The Arthashastra indeed can be unforgiving. But every prescription was meant to save lives in the long run, the king's and his people's. Every master statesman from Aristotle to Machiavelli has acknowledged that sometimes harsh steps are needed. As scholars say, my methods have been both condemned for ruthlessness and praised for wisdom. Regardless, many agree that it was because of these policies that Chandragupta's empire ran efficiently and became a model of governance.
Your pragmatism reminds me of Sun Tzu or Plato's realism.
Indeed, the Arthashastra has been compared to Plato's Republic or Sun Tzu's Art of War. Its core is simple. A ruler must see the world as it is, not as one wishes it to be. Only then can he do what is needed. A true leader must be willing to take difficult actions for the greater good.
You lived long enough to see Chandragupta's son ascend the throne. How do you view your legacy?
I served both Chandragupta and his son, Bindusara. Under my guidance, the young Bindusara continued consolidating the empire. It is said that even young Ashoka, Chandragupta's grandson, initially benefited from the policies I set, until later he embraced nonviolence. My pride is that our work created an empire that endured and brought stability to the land. For centuries, my Arthashastra was lost, but its rediscovery in 1905 was celebrated. Since then, it has been studied worldwide as one of the great works of political science. Some compare it favorably to Machiavelli's Prince, to Aristotle, and to Plato. Even those who criticize my harsh counsel admit I understood human nature well. Ultimately, it is agreed that the Mauryan Empire became a model of efficient government largely because of the principles I helped establish.
And on a personal level, how do you feel about being compared to Machiavelli?
I consider it a compliment to be in such company. But Machiavelli wrote when his city-states were falling. Arthashastra was written in a young empire's dawning to guide it to greatness. Our intents are aligned to see a strong, lasting state. If students of strategy learn something from my work, that is all I wish.
Let us speak of your later life. Did you remain by Chandragupta's side until the end?
I served Chandragupta faithfully until his death. Then I continued advising Bindusara. I had expected the empire to remain strong, but court intrigues arose.
You retired, I understand.
Yes, as I grew old, I became weary. The young minister Subandhu at court turned Bindusara against me with false rumors. He claimed I had harmed the royal family. The king began to doubt me. I realized my time in administration was ending. Following our traditions, I withdrew from court. I returned to the forests with my own devoted Brahmin and my wife. In my heart, I was at peace knowing I had done my duty. Legends say I fasted to death in the jungle, eating only 1 grain of rice a day. A vow taken after Bindusara broke our bond of trust. In truth, no records from that age survive, but the stories tell of a long life dedicated to dharma and statecraft. I passed around 283 BCE, full of years.
Your disciple Radhagupta succeeded you as chief minister, if I'm correct?
Yes, he carried on the work. The empire stood on firm ground. And that is my final satisfaction.
Acharya Chanakya, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Your insights into leadership and statecraft are as powerful today as they were in ancient times. Any final thoughts for our audience?
Remember that knowledge, discipline, and ethical duty are the pillars of good governance. A leader must understand people and nature. Power without wisdom is chaos. I hope my life and teachings inspire any who build for the future.
Thank you, Acharya, and thank you to our listeners. May these lessons from the past guide us forward. Until next time, I'm Sri Verma. This has been Legends of Leadership. He walked away from the throne not in defeat, but in discipline. From a forest-born scholar to the architect of the greatest empire India had ever known. Chanakya didn't just build a nation, he built a framework that still whispers through modern law, strategy, and leadership. Some say he died in exile, some say he faded into myth. But the truth? He lives, in every bold idea, in every just law, in every leader who dares to rule with wisdom over pride.
A king's mortal. A kingdom may fall. What's karma endureth?
May we lead not with impulse, but with insight, not with fear, but with foresight, not with greed, but with Gyan, wisdom. This was Chanakya, the strategist, the teacher, the mind that made an empire. Chanakya's legacy reminds us that knowledge and strategy are keys to lasting success. If his story inspires you, share this episode with friends and family. Let's honor his wisdom by applying his timeless lessons in our lives. Jai Hind. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.